You know, when you're trying to start a family, it's honestly so common to feel like you're completely at the mercy of biology. Right? It can feel super overwhelming, kind of like everything is just a roll of the dice. But what if I told you that you actually hold a lot of the cards? Today, we're going to dive straight into the everyday lifestyle choices that give you back control.
Welcome to this explainer. You can really think of this as your warm, supportive guide to taking back control together. Using clinical insights straight from ART Fertility Clinics, we're going to look at how your day-to-day habits have a profound, modifiable effect on reproductive health. And remember, whether you are just starting to even think about having a baby, or you've been on this path for a while now, this is a team effort. This is your fertility lifestyle guide.
But before we get into the really actionable steps, we got to acknowledge the journey itself. Starting a family involves so many variables that we simply can't perfectly time. Take age, for example. We know fertility peaks and then naturally declines over time, especially in women. But hey, often social, family, or professional reasons dictate when we actually feel ready to start trying. Those are incredibly complex life factors, and they are completely valid.
All right, so let's dive into this. Because, while we literally can't turn back the clock, we absolutely can focus on what is entirely in our hands. The really empowering truth here is that your daily routine, your diet, and your habits significantly impact fertility for both men and women. These are everyday factors that you can modify and change easily, literally starting today.
Okay, let's start with building a really solid foundation. How do we actually nourish the body to create the absolute most welcoming environment for a pregnancy? It all begins with the basics, what we eat and how we move. A balanced diet isn't just about your general health. It actually gives a highly specific extra boost to your entire reproductive system.
Now, there are some pretty amazing specific nutritional wins here. Honestly, you might be a little surprised to hear carbs mentioned, but a diet packed with healthy carbohydrates, fibers, folate, and lycopene, along with lots and lots of fruits and vegetables, is directly associated with improved semen quality in men and much better ovulation in women. Interestingly enough, clinical insights actually suggest that consuming lower amounts of proteins and fats is more beneficial for fertility, along with packing in high amounts of antioxidants.
Now, when it comes to weight, maintaining a healthy balance is definitely a shared journey. For the guys, carrying excess weight can actually lead to a reduced frequency of intercourse and lower overall semen quality. And for women, it can cause irregular cycles and reduced endometrial receptivity, which basically just means the uterus is a little less prepared to host an embryo. So it really affects both partners' overall reproductive health, just in different ways.
Let's quickly break down a medical term you're probably going to hear on this journey. Anovulation. This simply means the absence of ovulation. So the crucial takeaway here is that both excess weight and extremely low weight in females can trigger this. It can lead to highly irregular cycles or even cause your periods to stop entirely. It's basically your body's way of saying the environment just isn't quite ready to support a pregnancy right now.
But hey, here is some really good news. Movement matters a lot. Getting a healthy amount of exercise is incredibly beneficial. In fact, the research shows that combining a good diet with exercise, especially for obese males, directly increases sperm number, improves their motility, so their ability to move, and even improves sperm shape. It is a highly effective, completely natural way to boost male fertility.
All right, so we've talked about what to add to your day. So let's shift gears a bit. Let's take a totally non-judgmental look at some everyday habits couples should really consider gently pausing. This isn't about punishment. It's all about maximizing your fertility outcomes and just creating the healthiest possible blank slate.
First up, smoking. And look, tobacco smoke really does take a significant toll on both partners. Men face an increased risk of erectile dysfunction, lower sperm counts, and more abnormally shaped sperm. For female smokers, the chemicals in cigarettes literally speed up the loss rate of eggs, impair egg quality, and bump up the risk of pregnancy complications. Quitting is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful steps you can take as a team.
A chemical impact? It continues right into alcohol. Having excessive drinks really scrambles the crucial hormone signals your body needs. In men, it decreases testosterone production while actually increasing estrogen levels. And in women, large amounts of alcohol also spike estrogen levels, which suppresses the follicle-stimulating hormone, or FSH, that is absolutely required for ovulation. It basically just disrupts the hormonal communication your body relies on.
Now, what about that morning cup of coffee? Well, we definitely need more research to be 100% conclusive, but limiting your caffeine intake is just a really smart protective move. Some studies suggested taking in too much caffeine might increase estrogen production or decrease how your body metabolizes it. So a gentle cutback is definitely a safe bet here.
Okay, this next point is incredibly important for any guys who are into intense muscular body training.
The use of anabolic steroids to decrease body fat severely harms male fertility. These steroids essentially hijack the body, interfering directly with the natural hormone signals that tell the body to actually produce sperm.
But here's the thing, this timeline offers a ton of hope. If you stop taking those steroids, the damage isn't always permanent. The recovery window for sperm production generally spans anywhere from 3 to 12 months after stopping use. It definitely takes some patience, but the body has an absolutely incredible capacity to heal and reset its natural rhythms.
All right, so beyond what we're actually consuming, we really need to look at the world around us. Let's explore some surprising, kind of hidden factors in our environment, and even in our closets that we can easily tweak to protect our fertility.
We're exposed to things every single day that we probably don't even think twice about. Things like air pollution, heavy metals like lead, mercury, boron, and aluminum, as well as pesticides and radiation. These can have seriously damaging effects on the reproductive health of both men and women. Depending on your age and the dose of exposure, it can even lead to permanent sterility. So it's really wise to be mindful of your occupational and environmental surroundings.
Now get this, just 1 to 4 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a tiny number, right? But if the temperature in or around the testicles is raised by just that small amount, it has a direct, extremely negative impact on both sperm and testosterone production.
So what's actually causing that temperature bump? Let's talk about some surprisingly common heat traps. Gentlemen, it might be time to temporarily retire the rockstar wardrobe. Tight jeans, bicycle shorts, leather pants, they just hold everything way too close to the body. Add to that long hot showers, hot tubs, and saunas, and you are basically overheating those crucial cells. Keeping things cool and breathable, that is absolutely the way to go.
Look, I totally get that hearing all of this at once might make the list seem a bit long and overwhelming. But the big takeaway here should actually be incredibly reassuring. By actively understanding these factors, you aren't just a passive participant in your care anymore. You and your partner are entirely capable of controlling and maximizing your fertility potential.
So let's just boil all this down into a really clear, practical game plan. Step 1. Nourish your bodies with balanced, carbohydrate and antioxidant-rich foods. Step 2. As a united front, gently pause the smoking, excessive alcohol, and heavy caffeine. And Step 3. Swap out that tight clothing for breathable fabrics and steer clear of extreme heat and environmental toxins.
This whole process, it's a journey for sure, but it's one you take step by step, together. Every small adjustment is a victory for your shared goal. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chat about with your partner. How will you start actively controlling your fertility potential today? Pick just one small change from this explainer to start with and empower yourselves to build from there. Thank you so much for joining me for this guide.